Just about to get started here, guys. In the exciting world of PCs. Of course, we got the new Asus ROG Xbox Ally. I know Asus doesn't like being called ROG, but I like to call it ROG. It's supposed to be ROG Xbox Ally. Hopefully some of you guys out there got a feel for it. If you haven't, or if you're curious about changing over to one. And the show is about to go live right now. As soon as I get this. Perfect. What's up, Bam Bam? I'm Chris Mizo, if you're unfamiliar with who I am. I usually talk about PC and tech. It's a lot of exciting stuff that has been going on out there, especially when it comes to processors. If you're thinking about building a PC sometime soon, you are certainly in a good era, at least of now, because you can actually purchase GPUs for below MSRP, which is actually really nice, regardless if it's AMD or Nvidia, or even do like a PC build coming up soon. I know a lot of you guys out there are probably waiting for those Black Friday deals if you are thinking of doing a PC build. Or you might have some questions about the Xbox Ally X and how is the performance by far on it. Feel free to ask any questions, as this is a open session, so you can feel free to ask for any advice when it comes to PC builds if that's exactly what you're thinking of doing. So, what's up, guys? What's up, Johannes? What's up? Hi. I like that name, Hi. What's up, guys? Welcome in. Hopefully you guys are doing some sort of PC build, or if you're... And how about you guys out there? I gotta ask you, I've been seeing a lot of complaints about when it comes to AMD processors, when it comes to Battlefield 6. Are you guys experiencing the same issues? If you have been playing at Battlefield 6, if you notice that there's been quite a few issues to where it seems like there's some sort of latency issue. It seems that Intel users are not experiencing it as much, but there is something that I certainly would like to try, as I found something on X. Somebody actually posted up something about it, which I'm going to experiment later today. If anything, if this is a confirmed temporary fix, I can say at the least it will certainly be posted up, which would be great for everybody who is having some sort of latency issues or any weird FPS drops or anything like that. Yes, I am, JT. So, I gotta say, when it comes to PC building, it seems that there actually is going to be some sort of Arrow Lake refresh, allegedly so far, and it seems like they're going with the name 270 Plus. So it's kind of a weird name. They're not going into the 370 or 385 or however they would like to call the newer processors coming out, because they're reserving that for Panther Lake from what it seems like. So these new processors, which are going to be practically Arrow Lake refreshes, are going to be based on the 265K and 275K. It's supposed to be a slight uptick. It's not going to be a gigantic jump, regardless if you're looking for a larger leap, especially if you're Intel's 1851, at least on LGA 1851, and you're trying to look for that larger leap. Unfortunately, this won't be such a large leap from what it seems like, but then again, who knows? They could obviously change things when it comes to when the processor actually gets released. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's going to be coming out this month as we all hoped, because usually Intel does drop processors by the end of the month. But it doesn't seem that it's not looking promising, especially that there's only about 10 days left in October. So I can say when it comes to the processor side, there's also rumors coming out with AMD's Ryzen X, their 3D series when it comes to the 9800X 3D. Most people definitely have that processor, wonderful processor when it comes to gaming. The 9950X 3D is even better when it comes to productivity and when it comes to gaming. And also, it's great if you're more of a multitasker when it comes to graphic design, or if you're into video editing and you also like the game. That is certainly a great processor to go with. Now, I can say when it comes to the 9950X 3D, it's certainly the best one that you could currently get when it comes to, if you want both, at least. Now, there's always the option you could go with the 9950X, but that's more focused for... you could also game on that processor as well, but it's definitely going to be more focused on productivity, more to say, I can say. But when it comes to the newer processors that AMD could possibly produce, it seems that there's been actually a post up on X or Twitter, also known as Twitter. It seems that somebody has posted it up as that there's possibly a second part to it, that there's actually going to be two CCDs that could be used in the processor when it comes to the 9800 X3D. It's practically almost like a clone of the 9800 X3D, but the difference is that it's a bit quicker when it comes to the clock speeds, about like 400 megahertz, I think it is. And then on top of it, it also has that second CCD, which gives it bigger room when it comes to the L3 cache. So instead of just having 96 megabytes, you'll have up to like 128, I think it is. 192 megabytes, which is pretty insane. That would be pretty hefty for an L3 cache, and would definitely be killer if they do end up coming out with something like that. But they are also thinking of the name scheme and switching it to the 9850 X3D instead, to kind of give it a gap between the 9800 X3D, ironically enough. But they're also thinking of even doing like a 9950 X3D too, to where they will also double the cache for the 9950 X3D. So, have you tried your PC, your phone for, have you tried streaming your PC to your phone for gaming? Actually, I've done that before. So, Zay, is that something you wanted to do? Because I know that's something you're more than likely that want to do, is something like that, where you want to be able to stream. It's definitely possible if anyone wants to do that. If you want to be able to stream, say, like, on like phone specific social media, such as like TikTok or Twitch, which is something Twitch seems like they're more getting into when it comes to, instead of just doing the typical horizontal formats, they are also thinking of coming out with vertical ones. And there's actually quite a few, I'm pretty sure that there's quite a few streamers out there that's been trying that format already with Twitch. But as you know, it's already on TikTok, and it's already on some other platforms. YouTube's obviously one of them. YouTube's one of the platforms where I will stream on two different formats, such as if you're watching it usually on the desktop or on a laptop or on the TV, you should get the full horizontal format. Now, if you're watching it on your phone, more than likely you probably got the vertical format, and that's what other social media apps are trying to do as well. But it certainly can be done. I highly recommend giving it a shot if that's something you would like to do. So, hey Chris, I am building a new budget PC with the 5600X and the 9060 XT, 16 gigabytes. Will it bottleneck? Now, you shouldn't really experience any type of true bottlenecking. You're going to see, you're always going to be bottlenecked by the GPU. That's perfectly normal. That's what you would want. But it's not going to be significant enough for you to notice. Now, the newer GPUs require a PCI Express 5 slot, typically, or you'll have a slight reduction when it comes to power, but it's not going to be massive enough for anyone to notice, especially if you are gaming, especially on something like the 9060 XT. Now, if you choose to upgrade to like a larger GPU, if you were going to 9070 XT, you probably wouldn't see so much of a difference. It's more so if you go to the larger GPUs, such as like the 5090, then obviously you'll get bottlenecked by then. But for now, you shouldn't really experience any type of bottlenecking. With that type of build, you could certainly get away with it if that is what you are looking to do. What type of motherboard and everything are you thinking of using with this processor? I have to ask. So, Chris, Emo, I know it looks like I gotta get my cut, man. I gotta get my cut. I do look like emo phase. So, like playing Marvel's Spider-Man 2 on your phone via NVIDIA. Oh, okay. So you mean like trying to like play on the cloud, so to say. If you're trying to, I mean, it could definitely be done. You could definitely do it, but it's not going to be. You would have to go through like Stream or something. It would actually be better on something like the Xbox Ally X to do something like that. You can actually stream it, which let me show you real quick. Well, here's the Xbox Ally, right? This is it. It's going to look like, right now it's in development mode. It's going to look something like this. You're much better off doing it on a device like this, because you can easily stream off of it. It won't be really hard to. You can actually install OBS and everything onto it, just like like you would with a PC practically, and you can just do the streams off of something like this. Now that's something I recommend, and you can take advantage of it. Certainly has quite a bit of processing power. Now currently, if you guys are curious what I'm up to, I'm going to compare the Z1 Extreme and the Z2 Extreme in benching and see how much they completely differ. Now they're only 2 years apart. The original Asus ROG Ally, or the ROG Ally, originally came out 2023, and it's with the Z1 Extreme, and it does have like about 16 gigabytes of about DDR, about the same type of memory, which is the LPDDR5, but it came with 512 gigabytes of storage, but that was obviously swapped out to 2 terabytes, and now we're going to be testing that out compared to how it compares to the Xbox Ally X. Now I'm also curious about this too, because we're also going to be taking this apart eventually. As soon as I get done with benching, we'll take it apart to see how the upgradability is and everything is too with it. Now, it's the ASRock B450M. Okay, that's a certain type of board that you can take advantage of. That shouldn't be an issue. The 450M should be pretty decent, but know that you're going to be limited in some areas when it comes to PCI Express. So I feel free to enter Discord if you have any additional questions. Enter our Discord, and we could definitely take a look at it a bit more there, and then we could certainly figure it out and see if there's going to be any issues when it comes to it. Hopefully you're not going to install too much additional NVMe's or additional PCI Express cards if you're thinking of installing any. But if it's just going to be the GPU slot that you're going to be taking up in a single NVMe, more than likely you should be okay. But it'll be more of an issue if you try to take up more space out the board if you really try to push it. So on your local PC streaming there's an app called Moonlight or Razer Remote. Oh, okay. Not NVIDIA servers, so you're talking about... No, I haven't tried that. That's something I gotta certainly give a shot and see how that is. So latency is really good because you're using your local internet between PC and phone. Yeah, that's something I'll definitely look into, Zay. That's a good plan, actually. I'm curious to see how well that turns out. So currently, I have the original Asus ROG Ally. I'm testing out Tomb Raider on there, so I'm benching with that, which I could show you momentarily. Right now I just got it charging up, but other than that, the Asus ROG Ally Xbox Ally has been pretty decent so far. Now I notice that when it sits on the charger, sometimes I'll get some weird notifications such as this, where it recommends me to go into the developer mode to use the NVMe, not the NVMe, but to take advantage of the Chrome extensions, I guess, that I have on here. So, but yeah, that's something I'm gonna definitely look into. I'm curious to see how Bazite also runs onto something like this as well. Now, there's just one terabyte NVMe and 16 gigabytes. Okay, well, if that's the case, then more than likely you shouldn't have an issue. Now, when it comes to but if anybody out there is thinking of doing a PC build sometime soon, there are certainly some processors that they are planning to put out. Now, the good news is anytime that there's new hardware on the way, you could certainly expect that current PC hardware is going to drop in price. Now, if you're thinking of doing some sort of PC build upcoming, it's going to, more than likely, you'll probably, not probably, but you're going to get good deals coming up in November, especially because that's usually when they try to offload a lot of their current hardware. So if you're trying to get like motherboards, CPUs, GPUs, they should be decent prices. They're not going to be overly crazy. So if you're thinking of doing some sort of, like, say if you want to do RTX 5070 Ti build, you could certainly take advantage. AMD's 9070, you could definitely take advantage of that too. Good thing is that, again, they're currently below MSRP, so you can take you could really take advantage of that pricing right now. Now, so says Mizo, what's your views on the 9060 XT? So, what's up, Rita? So despite me having the Legion Go, I actually prefer to stream from my PC. Better graphical fidelity on a handheld